Trigger warning. Death and Friends is not a podcast for the light of heart. Many dark and serious subjects will come up. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, Skeleton Army. We know what you're thinking.
That we've done this intro before? Well, yes. And also, we always know what you're thinking. But especially in this case.
Spooky Santa's at it again, baby!
We've checked our list. Twice. Some of you really should be ashamed.
We know you saw the title of the episode and we're like, guys, come on, guys, what are you doing? Isn't this a podcast about death and history?
Yes. But also our brains are turning to mush. Angel started poking around in the history of werewolves, aka he's watched a lot of horror movies during the break.
American Werewolf in London, 10 times, baby!
Here we are. And also, there's a lot of relevant things in here for history. So here we go.
Howl at the moon. Ow, ow, ow.
Ow.
No,
ow,
no.
Ow.
Oh, boy. Play the song.
All right. Here we go. Death comes for us all. You might as well make it your friend. Your friend. With us on Death and Friends.
Hello, Skeleton Army.
I can't believe we're doing this.
Let's talk about werewolves.
I refuse to paint this picture.
Then I will. So, history shows us two very importante things. People have been scared of animals, and because of that, people think that other people turn into animals.
Bit of a generalization. It's more like people have always been fascinated by the macabre, serial killers, true crime shows, podcasts about the history of death.
You can't see this, but we're giving you the gym look.
I don't know that it works for an audio podcast.
Quiet, you. So, let's start in the way, way back. The word werewolf comes from ye olde werewolf with a U.
Woo woo woof?
No, it's not ooh. Oh, no. No, but you think that... Okay. Okay, if you think that's bad, it's pronounced Werwolf in German because Deutschland. Thing is, the biggest predators in Europe at the time are in fact wolves, and many a culture throughout the world have multiple half-man, half-animal creations, even in modern times.
Give an example. Cite your work.
Digimon, Frontier.
I don't understand this reference.
It's for like 2 people. So you add this kind of cultural similar thinking plus wolves and boom, you got werewolves. Hearsay, gossip, and the fever for hunting witches.
Witches, you say? Didn't we just do an episode about that?
We sure did, Nash. But we're talking about big dog boys now. It's relevant, I promise. But that, in a nutshell, is the reason why werewolves are muy popular.
Neat.
Timmy's in the well?
What? Timmy? Timmy, are you okay? You're real hairy. Oh, God! I'm bad!
What is it, boy? A woo-woo!
Oh, God.
Being a werewolf isn't seen as a curse, but more of an affliction.
Bring, bring.
No.
Black. Why not?
Because this is technically not medical facts. This is...
Fun facts with Nash.
No.
Okay, why not?
Because 1, you suck, and B,
That doesn't even make sense.
these are not fun facts. These are more like mythology that pertains to the topic at hand.
Lycanthropy, or the affliction that causes man to become werewolf, derives its name from the ancient Greek myth of Lycon. This cheeky fucker got the bad side of Zeus. How? Lycon's son tried to trick ye old Zeus into making him eat human flesh.
Jesus Christ.
Worst part? Fava beans.
Nice.
Haven't seen that movie, actually. But this is like the 4th time I've made this reference, so I'm going to have to watch it. Otherwise, it's going to get really embarrassing. Zeus was not a fan of being tricked, so he strikes thunder upon the suns and turns their father Lycan into a wolf.
Oh.
A wolf! No, Dad, no! Woo-woo!
It's just him going, ooh, woo.
Ooh, Dad, please.
I'm a wolf. He tried to speak, but his voice broke into an echoing howl. His ravening soul infected his jaws. His murderous longings were turned into a cattle. He was still possessed by bloodlust. His garments were changed into a shaggy coat and his arms into legs. He was now transformed into a wolf. Wait a second. Wait, hang on. Wait a second. There's something wrong here.
That passage is from Roman poet Ovid. The piece is called Metamorphosis. It's one of the first descriptions of man changing into a wolf ever recorded.
Hang on. First of all, Zeus was mad, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But not because he was eating human flesh.
Correct.
But because he was tricked.
No comment.
Gross.
Let's talk about being a werewolf. Turns out, not fun.
It falls under that old tale of a witch turning you into a frog, a toad,
Goat, deer.
your shitty neighbor Steve.
The point being that werewolves were essentially cursed by...
Women.
Okay, dude.
No, I'm serious. This is gonna sound terrible, but just bear with me here. The story of my life being that anytime I mention women, it doesn't go well for me. Turns out women not treated that great back in the day.
Or now.
Quite frankly,
Ever.
big oof.
The problem is people at the time could not be convinced that certain terrible things could be done by men.
You know, murders, rapes, what have you.
Thus, they were convinced that an animal had to be involved instead of just, people monsters.
Most people in Europe thought that werewolves existed due to the darker... Stop humming! For example, in Germany, they were scared of wolves. So, Wolfseigners, aka magic German men who specialized in wolves, would use Wolfsegen to deter said wolves. So, naturally, these folks thought that it would work against werewolves, right? Wrong. Also, in a cruel irony, they were also tried as werewolves for using magic. So, fun times for them.
Ah, yes, witchcraft. According to the knowledge of the late Middle Ages, werewolves were running around all of Europe. They basically were the crotch crickets of the entire continent. Witchcraft is the leading cause of lycanthropy. The church and its infinite wisdom of getting to the bottom of things lumps everybody in as a group. The group consisting of non-Christians, Protestants, ethnic people, witches, werewolves.
This is the part where our old buddy comes back.
You need to stop inviting him.
He invites himself. It's racism, everybody. Everybody give him a hand.
Great, buddy. So glad you're here.
You fucking suck.
As it turns out, white people have always been the worst. So let's say you live in a village and some new guy moves in. He's wandering about. He works his ass off. He's part of the community.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, I don't see what's wrong.
Aw, and then you decide he's a werewolf.
Oh, okay. That's not where I thought that was going.
He eats weird food. He speaks differently. Most importantly, he's hairy.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, people thought the hairy foreigners were werewolves because, hey buddy, it's racism.
Oh, great. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, thems were the witch hunts throughout Europe.
How about some examples?
What is happening?
Hey, welcome to Wolf or Serial Killer.
Okay.
All right, we have our contestant here, Nash from Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Whatever. So, in this game, Nash, it's your job to determine if this person was a serial killer or a werewolf.
Ah, well, history shows
Whatever, nerd. This question is worth $12. The year is 1521. Frenchmen Pierre Burgot and Michael Verdun claimed to make a deal with the devil and become werewolves. Their victims include small children. Were they serial killers or werewolves?
Obviously they're serial killers.
That is correct. You've won $12.
This is dumb. Wait, $12? Like US dollars?
Yeah, that's right. And now this next question is worth $600.
Okay.
It's 15th century Germany. Peter Stub, a wealthy farmer in the area, was also known as the Werewolf of Dole. It was claimed that the werewolf hunters found him changing back into human form and that he had a sick-ass belt that turned him into a wolf. He ate animals, men, and children. Serial killer or werewolf?
Serial killer. Wait, what?
Oh, the answer was neither. History shows that he was a victim of a political witch hunt. People in power used this as an excuse to stoke fears and essentially get rid of people they didn't want.
That answer wasn't even an option.
Sucks to suck. Final question. This one is worth $800,000. Albert Fish was known as the werewolf of Hysteria. When the moon was full, he got an appetite. And what did he crave? Children. His most famous victim was Grace Budd. He was going to eat someone else, funny enough, until he laid eyes upon her. He took her away and ate her instead. Then, after all was said and done, he sent a letter to her parents giving...
Serial killer.
That is correct!
Yes!
Oh, wow. If the question was serial killer or werewolf.
That's what the question was.
But if you let me finish and not interrupt me all the time, you would have seen that the question was, where was he based?
I hate you.
Brooklyn. The answer was Brooklyn. As your punishment, you now have to eat this churro.
It's not so bad.
Pretty good churro, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's filled with ghost pepper hot sauce.
You son of a...
Commercial?
How's the churro, Nash?
Fuck you.
Alrighty. In all seriousness, the werewolf/witch hunts really did plague Europe. In Latvia and Estonia alone, there were around 20 trials. In every single trial, the person accused was turned by someone else, making them become a wolf, and so on and so forth.
You know, lying to get rid of someone. In 1651, a gentleman named Hans was brought before a court in Idavir after being accused. He's 18, so he's young, dumb, full of
Fur.
semen.
Okay. He claimed that he had hunted as an actual werewolf at least twice.
He claimed he met a man in black,
Sadly, not a time-traveling Johnny Cash.
and he's the one that gave him the wolf body. Direct quote here. When asked by the judges if his body had took part in the hunt, or if only his soul was transmuted, Hans confirmed that he had found a dog's teeth mark on his own leg, which he had received while a werewolf. Further asked whether he felt himself to be man or beast while transmuted, he said that he felt himself to be beast.
The hell was that? Hans was German. This all happened in Germany.
I can only do an Irish accent, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, those were just some of the examples of overall shittiness against dog boys that we could find.
Just a few, just a peppering in, just a little
Just
taste.
just a little just a little taste. Just a little Irish taste, apparently. Speaking of irrational fears, let's talk about darkness.
We spoke at great length about this in our season opener, available everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Well, a lot of those same fears applied directly to the people of Europe at the time. People are scared of the dark, and also wolves, so kind of makes sense.
That's it?
Huh?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was just expecting like a little more, like analysis here.
Oh, yeah. So, here's the thing. You really nailed the whole darkness aspect of everything in the last episode.
Yeah.
So kudos for that.
Thanks.
And two, it's straightforward, man. People be scared of the dark. And besides, I gotta save my energy.
Save your energy for what?
Black death, polio, spontaneous combustion. Dying comes, and after death comes decomposition. It may seem sad and also gross, but here you are, and here's your host. Not an actual doctor, but it's medical facts with Dr. Angel.
Guten Tag, meine Freund. Let's talk about the reasons people might think you're a vampire. I mean werewolf. I meant werewolf. Werewolves.
Wait,
Woo,
wait.
werewolves.
What?
Okay. All right. I gotta be. Okay. I'm gonna be super honest about this. All right. Thing about medical facts about werewolves is that the same things that inspire fear of vampires also inspired the fear of lycanthropes.
Spooky lady trapped in castle?
What? No.
Evil warlord from Eastern Europe?
Again, no.
Rabies?
No, Nash got. Actually, yes. Rabies. Yeah.
Oh, makes sense. Yeah. Makes people foam at the mouth. They bite people. Scared of the moon. Ooh.
Let's talk more about a more realistic form of lycanthropy. The psychosomatic one. This very rare but very real mental illness is that of a patient believing themselves to become an animal. This is an actual medical condition. The person genuinely believes that they are an animal, and this was, of course, found in people thinking they were wolves. Full moon, they think they're wolves. It's a whole thing. Crawl on all fours, the works. But, you know, like I said before, it's a real mental illness that happens. It is very rare. And the most famous cases that we know of are more like feral children and stuff. But the most modern example that I can think of is that of Sheila the She-Wolf from the Netflix series Glow. It's from a TV show.
Wait. Why are we talking about wrestling TV shows, Angel?
Okay, first of all, how dare you? Wrestling is incredible.
No.
And two, because we got to talk about the Wolfman.
Wow.
The most familiar version of the werewolf that a lot of us know is that of Jacob from Twilight. Thank you.
Well, I was going to say the Wolfman, 1941, Lon Chaney Jr., classic image of Wolfman, terrible remake.
Yes, but Jacob is in the friend zone. Thanks to the sparkly English guy again. Thank you so much for giving me lines about Twilight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you love it. Werewolves in modern culture have actually not changed a whole lot. Pretty much anything you can think about a Wolfman is pretty much, you nailed it. You got it. There's a moon, dog boy bites man, man becomes dog boy, cute transformation scene, murders, sad ending.
Arms becoming legs, etc., etc. I mean, that's great for fiction, Angel, but alas, there is a real Wolfman.
Fun facts with Nash.
Hypertrichosis. It is a disease that affects 1 out of every billion or so births, like NBD. It's a genetic disease. Currently, there's about 50 people in the world with it. It causes the person to grow hair kind of everywhere.
Everywhere.
A lot of it. Just everywhere. A lot of it. The most famous modern case, Larry Gomez and his brother Danny. They're circus performers. They start out in the freak show section, but then they get training. And now they're not just freak shows. They're trapeze artistes.
Mm-hmm. They live very normal, comfortable lives.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm. Nash, quick question for you, buddy.
Yeah, go off.
Was that an actual fun fact?
And on that shocker, that's the episode. A special thanks to you, our favorite listener. Remember to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. A rate and review would also be nice.
Yeah, guys, please rate and review. We desperately need it. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Gorilla Jokes.
And I'm at It's Nash Flynn.
And of course, follow the podcast at Death and Friends Podcast.
Hey, you. Want to become an official member of the Skeleton Army?
I like the taste of butter.
Well, you can join us on Patreon. It's mostly to cover our sound guy's medical bills. In order to properly write medical facts, we expose Dom to all the illnesses and ways to die we talk about on the show.
We covered him in butter.
Wolves like butter.
Yeah, Dom said he wanted to live deliciously. Who's that guy?
I didn't let him in. So check it out at patreon.com/deathandfriends. Also, maybe call 911.
Yep. Hey, we know that last episode we got real serious, so this episode we lined up the mood a little bit. Why? Because, you gotta take a break sometimes.
Ooh.
And we need you to remember... Ooh. Hey, in all seriousness, remember that you are loved and that you matter. And if you don't want to be your own friend, we will happily be your friend. Oh, God. Put your fingers down. Until next time, Skeleton Army. Love you.
I love you.
This has been a Knavery Inc. podcast. Go to knaveryinc.com for more details. Executive produced by Jacob Duffy Hallblad. Audio design by Dominic Wanzon. Themes and transitions by Amy Doe.
The fuck is a knave?